In the vast emptiness of the South Pacific, on a remote island where the ocean meets silence, stand the silent watchers. Hundreds of colossal stone figures, each gazing inland as if guarding the secrets of a forgotten world. For centuries, they've withstood time and tempest, their expressionless faces etched with mystery. Who carved them? Why were they built? And perhaps most perplexing, how were they moved? These monoliths, known as Moai, have baffled historians, archaeologists, and explorers alike. But their story is not just one of stone. It is a tale of ingenuity, devotion, and the rise and fall of a once flourishing civilization. To uncover the secrets of the Moai is to trace the heartbeat of Easter Island's soul, and to glimpse the edge of what ancient humans were truly capable of. This is Legacy Unearthed, where the forgotten truths of the ancient world rise once more from the dust of time. Chapter 1. A Lost World in the Middle of Nowhere. Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, as its native people call it, lies over 2,000 miles from the nearest inhabited land. It's one of the most isolated places on Earth. When Dutch explorers first stumbled upon it on Easter Sunday in 1722, they were astonished to find such massive stone figures across an island so seemingly barren. What they didn't realize was that they were witnessing the last echoes of a once vibrant civilization. The Rapa Nui people had arrived centuries earlier, likely from Polynesia, navigating vast stretches of ocean by the stars. Over time, they built a complex society, with distinct clans and a spiritual worldview rooted in ancestor worship. The Moai, towering stone statues, were more than art or architecture. They were sacred effigies of ancestral chiefs, guardians who would watch over the land and its people. Their placement was deliberate. The Moai faced inland, not toward the sea, suggesting their role was to protect and empower villages rather than repel external threats. But how could such an isolated, resource-limited island produce and move these giants? Chapter 2. Carving Giants from the Earth. Most of the Moai were sculpted from volcanic tuff, a light, porous stone formed from compressed volcanic ash, found in the Raraku crater. This quarry was the heart of Moai production. To walk its slopes today is to wander among frozen giants. Nearly 400 statues lie half-carved, abandoned mid-creation. On average, a Moai stands about 13 feet tall and weighs around 14 tons, but some reach far beyond that. The largest erected Moai, called Paro, stood nearly 33 feet tall and weighed 82 tons, and one unfinished statue still embedded in the rock would have stood 69 feet tall. A true colossus. Using stone chisels made from harder basalt, teams of craftsmen worked with remarkable precision. The front of the statue was carved while still attached to the rock face. Only after the facial features and body were shaped was the figure freed from the bedrock. These artisans lacked metal tools, yet they produced statues with consistent form and proportion. Sloping noses, elongated ears, prominent brows, and deep eye sockets. Some wore cylindrical stone hats called pukao, made from red scoria, another volcanic stone, heavier than it appears. The sheer logistics of adding these pukao atop completed Moai remains one of Easter Island's greatest engineering feats. Still, carving was just the beginning. Chapter 3. The Moving Mystery. Moving these immense statues from Raraku to their final locations, some as far as 11 miles away, was a feat that confounded researchers for generations. Early theories suggested that Moai were dragged on wooden sledges or rollers, which would have required enormous amounts of timber. But this raised an unsettling question. Had the Rapa Nui deforested their island in pursuit of their statues? Was environmental collapse tied to their downfall? More recent insights shifted the paradigm. Archaeologists Terry Hunt and Carl Lipo proposed a radical idea that the statues were not dragged, but walked. Using replicas, ropes, and just a few dozen people, they demonstrated that the Moai's design, with its low center of gravity and forward-leaning posture, allowed it to be rocked side to side in a controlled fashion. In this theory, the Moai's journey wasn't just transport, it was ritual. The ancestors were literally walking to their resting places. Each movement was an act of reverence, binding the community through cooperation, faith, and shared tradition. And perhaps that's why they did it. Not for power, not for conquest, but for connection to their ancestors, their land, and one another. Chapter 4. Eyes of the Ancestors. Once a Moai reached its ahu, the ceremonial platform where it would stand, the work was not yet done. The statue was raised, often with incredible precision, using a combination of ramps, leverage, and communal effort. But it was the final detail that transformed the Moai from statue to sacred being: its eyes. Fragments of white coral and red or black stone suggest that the Moai were once given eye inlays. In Rapa Nui belief, the eyes allowed the Moai to channel mana, a spiritual force, from the ancestors into the world of the living. With eyes, the Moai were alive. They watched, protected, and blessed the people. Their power was not metaphorical. It was real, embodied in stone, ceremony, and belief. The Moai stood facing the people, backs to the sea, as silent witnesses to every birth, prayer, offering, and harvest. They were the soul of the island, made visible. Chapter 5. Collapse and Silence. But even the most powerful symbols cannot hold back time. Over generations, Rapa Nui's population grew. Competition between clans intensified. More Moai were built, bigger, heavier, more ambitious. Trees were felled, not only for transport, but for firewood, agriculture, and construction. Eventually, the forest could no longer sustain the demands placed upon it. Without trees, erosion worsened, soil degraded, crop yields diminished, fishing boats could not be built, famine and conflict followed. As resources vanished, so did faith. Moai were no longer revered, they were targets. Clans toppled rival statues in acts of vengeance or desperation. The once sacred faces fell face down in the dirt, many shattered beyond repair. By the time Europeans arrived, Rapa Nui's society had fractured, and yet the people endured. The language, chants, and memories survived, and barely, through oral tradition, hidden from colonial oppression and cultural loss. Chapter 6. The Legacy That Stands Still. Today, the Moai still stand, many restored, some still lying where they fell. They are more than tourist attractions. They are sentinels of resilience, symbols of what can be achieved with vision and unity, and warnings of what happens when balance is lost. The people of Rapa Nui, descendants of those ancient carvers and movers, now protect their heritage with pride. Their story, once almost silenced, is being reclaimed, not just in stone, but in voice, art, and ceremony. The Moai invite us to reflect, not only on what ancient humans were capable of, but on how belief, identity, and environment are inextricably linked. They do not speak, but they do not need to. Their silence is full of meaning. As we gaze into the hollow eyes of the Moai, we are not looking at ruins. We are looking at reminders of devotion, of ingenuity, and of the delicate balance between humanity and nature. The Moai are more than relics. They are messages carved in stone, echoing across oceans and centuries. This has been another chapter uncovered in the saga of the past. Join us again on Legacy Unearthed, where the greatest legends live on.